My name is Hina Jilani. I am an advocate of the Supreme Court of Pakistan and a human rights defender. I am also a pro-democracy activist, and therefore, I look very much for promotion and protection of democratic norms as well as democratic institutions in the Constitution of 1973. I do think that this Constitution, when it was formulated, it was an era when people were moving from a very repressive martial law regime into the domain of changing our polity into a democracy. So, it does contain, of course, provisions that promote and protect human rights, fundamental freedoms and democracy itself. However, within the Constitution, there have been from time to time amendments made by different regimes and depending on their background and their claim to power, certain provisions have been added, which make for some contradictions within the Constitution itself, which have from time to time manifested themselves by the confusion and the challenges that we have faced in promoting democracy and enforcing these provisions of the Constitution, where one provision comes into contest with another. So, there are still areas in which more attention is needed in order to make it a fully democratic constitution, making sure that there is separation of power, making sure that there is a system of checks and balances that does not turn a democracy into the rule of the majority, but is very conscious of the package of principles with which democracy comes, which looks after the rights of minorities. And these are not just religious minorities. The word minority does not apply to non-Muslim citizens alone. There are different status within which minority status has to be taken care of. There are sexual minorities, there are racial minorities, ethnic minorities. Everybody has a right. Social and economic rights protection in this Constitution still remains weak, and therefore, people's concern with livelihoods and not just life, people's concerns with their right to health, their right to control over their natural resources, the right to self-determination has to be also made a part of how you think about the rights of the people and how you think of democracy in this country. And I think 1973 Constitution perhaps will at some point make these aspects of fundamental rights and freedoms and people's democratic rights more strongly enforceable.